Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? Well, today begins another project. Project wasn't exactly on the books, but I'm happy to take it on, and think it's gonna be pretty cool. Hope y'all enjoy it, and yeah. How's that look? Stay tuned. Okay, right about now, you're probably wondering, what the hell is this and what am I doing now? Well, this truck here belongs to my good friend Jeff. And Jeff wanted a little bit of assistance in getting this up and roadworthy again. It's been sitting for a while. Jeff bought it, brought it home. It had some issues on the drive home, parked it, and just never got to it. So I just got back from basically driving 1,500 miles round trip from Toledo, Ohio to Omaha, Nebraska to pick this up, bring it home to my shop, and I'm going to be digging into this and getting it all back on the road again. But this thing it's not what you think. Don't judge a book by its cover. So let's take a look at this thing. All right, so what we got here? Typical nice 88 Bronco 2. Yep, you'd be half correct. It is a very nice 1988 Ford Bronco 2. The other half that you're wrong about is the bottom half of it is actually a 1975 early Bronco. This truck has been body swapped onto a 75 early Bronco chassis. So it has a straight axle in the front already. It's got a 302 carbureted motor. See the difference in the steering box. We've got a C4, which is currently the questionable part of all this. We've got a 9-inch axle. So, and also, well, she's loaded down with parts right now, but a very, very nice blue interior. This thing is a cream puff. So I'm tasked with getting this thing off, getting it in the shop. There's actually pouring down rain right now, and we're going to get inside and start evaluating this to see everything it's going to need to get back on the road, and it's probably going to be going up for sale. Jeff no longer needs this truck, so keep that in mind when you're watching this video, that this could be yours. So you have any interest in this, feel free to reach out through the YouTube channel, and maybe we can set you up with this. So anyway, let me get this unloaded. It is pouring, and let's see what we're getting into. Okay, we're finally in the garage now. So it's been, I don't know, it's been a month or so since we got Jeff's Bronco unloaded off the trailer. I've gone on an off-roading trip, done a few other things, but truck is now finally in the shop, and I'm finally giving it a good once-over to see exactly what this truck's going to need. So far, I have got it up and running. Truck is full of gas, so the gas that's in it is old, like years old, probably 2 or 3 years old. But it won't suck. It won't run on its own. So either something's wrong with the fuel pump or the carburetor. I was able to fill the carburetor full of fuel. It fires right up, but the carburetor is leaking fuel everywhere. So I have a brand new rebuild kit for the carburetor. So I'm yanking the carburetor off. Going to go ahead and clean it all out, rebuild it. I'm hoping maybe just the needle and seat is stuck, or maybe the fuel filter is just deteriorated and plugged up, and that's why it's not running on its own. So I'll go through that. If that's not it, then I'll just work my way backwards, and next will be the fuel pump, obviously. It's a mechanical fuel pump. Like I said, this is a early Bronco chassis, so it's just a stock 302 two-barrel, 1975. So super simple. So it shouldn't take a whole lot to diagnose what's wrong with that. Um, my initial diagnosis is power steering when it did run doesn't really want to steer. I think the reservoir is empty, so it must have a power steering leak somewhere. I got to figure out. Transmission is bone dry. Truck would not move on its own, so definitely got to figure out where the transmission leak is or where the leak is at. Once I get the engine to start and run on its own for more than the 20 seconds that it would run when I would fill up the carb bowl. The uh, the wiring under here leaves a little to be desired. Whoever put this truck together definitely didn't do me any favors by the way they did the wiring. Just literally covered everything in electrical tape and then just spray painted everything gloss black. So very few wires can I even see what colors they are. But from what it looks like the original 88 Bronco 2 wiring with the computer. Like all the relays and everything are here, which you don't need. It's a carbureted motor, so I'm betting the ECM is probably still in the kick panel. So all of this mess of wiring over here, I could probably just remove it all. They just have it all kind of bundled up, taped up over here. Doesn't need to be there. So I think a lot of this I can tape up or get rid of. Like all this crap, the battery cables, all the wiring is just, there's just bare wire exposed. The coating on the wiring is just deteriorated and just gone. So I got a lot of stuff that I got to clean up that I can't leave it like that. Stuff like the washer bottle overflow combo, it was spray, they spray painted the whole thing gloss black, so you couldn't even see if it had washer fluid or antifreeze in it. So I took it out and cleaned all the paint off of it, but then I noticed the whole backside of it was just completely cracked and broken, so it wouldn't hold any fluids anyway. So that's junk. I'm gonna throw that away. I got a brand new reproduction tank for that, so I can fix that, get all that done. So I got a lot of things here that I got to address. I got to fix to make it right. So that's where we're going to start with. So I'll go ahead. I'll grab you guys and give you a little bit closer look on all the things I'm talking about here. So that'll be our before, and we'll just see how much better I can make it look. Okay, so 302 two-barrel points ignition. I don't know if it'd be worth converting this to electronic ignition. I could clean up crap like the ballast resistor that doesn't need to be there. It would probably start and run a lot better with like a Pertronics conversion in it. And just, I mean, all that mess. I don't even know what all this crap is, all this wiring. There's a mess of wiring over here. I said that washer bottle, it's the whole back side of it's just completely busted, cracked. But they had that completely spray painted black. You couldn't even see none of it. I just hit it with brake clean, washed all the paint off of it, but that was all for nothing. But so all this mess I got to clean up. But like I said, they spray painted everything black. So trying to trace down like some of the factory wiring, it's going to be a real pain in the butt because I can't tell what color any of the wiring is. They said power steering, it's empty. I got to figure out where the fluid went for that. We'll do the basics. I'll go ahead and check the plugs, see what those look like. Maybe throw some fresh plug wires on it, cap, rotor. I said I'm going to rebuild the carb. Like all the wiring all across there. Just it just needs to look better. It's just such a mess. Could have been for as clean, as nice as the rest of the truck is. Why would you do such a shitty job on all of that? And then over there, I said all of that's where's my finger? All of that, that's the original stuff for the fuel injection for the 88 Bronco. So like that that right there, that's the test port for the fuel injection, the computer. So obviously none of that stuff needs to be there. So get rid of all that. Like here, check this out. This is the negative battery cable. Like how's that go? Brother, ew. Like just exposed, just taped up. Just God, I don't know. I just don't know how people can just be okay with that. So all of this shit is going to be cleaned up, redone, new terminals. I don't know, probably throw a new battery in it. All of this mess right here. Clean up some of that. It's an interesting way to do the heater box. I've never seen that done like that before. I don't know that I can go back and do it the way that I do it at this point. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's reversible, but that'll have to do. I can clean it up and make it look the best that I can anyway. But yeah, I can work with this. We can make this nice. But the rest of this thing is minty fresh. It's very nice. No other major problems. Like I said, when I did have the battery charged up and I did get it running, like I really didn't find anything else that didn't work. Like all power windows, power locks worked, the radio worked, blower motor, everything in the dash, dome lights. I mean, everything was working. So seems like this is going to be a good functional truck once I get all this other stuff ironed out. So I mean, just a really, really nice, super clean, super nice interior. It's got to do a little bit of, I don't know, just kind of uncluster F it, you know? So I think we'll be good. We'll check all the brakes, check all the brake hoses. This hub, I don't know, it's like dripping oil out of it. I've never seen that before, so we'll check all that stuff out. So yeah. It does have a brand new gas tank in it. I did notice that, so that's a good sign. Like I said, the bad sign is the gas that's in it, it's got a full tank of fuel, and it's old as hell, so I have to probably pump all that out and put some fresh gas in it, but that's okay. We can work with this. See, the body on this thing, I can't believe how clean, straight, rust-free it is. So far, the biggest deal that I found is it looks like the roof. It's going to need some attention, have to be scuffed up and resprayed, but that ain't the end of the world. That's easy enough to do. I mean, any competent paint and body guy take care of that relatively easy. Pinstripes need to be redone. They're old, dried, flaking, peeling off. That ain't no big deal. But yeah, good pot or do a little rub job on it, buff it out. This thing's gonna look like $1,000,000. So yeah, real excited to see how this turns out. And actually, when I had it running for, it would run for about 15, 20 seconds on a little bit of fuel, the carb would hold. It sounds really good. It's got true dual exhaust on it. I don't know what mufflers or what it is, but it's very tame, very quiet sounding. It just sounds damn good. So yeah, anyway, let's get this thing get it ripped apart. Let's get this carburetor off, and let's see what's going on inside there. Okay, we are into it. Got the carburetor off, ripped off cap rotor, wires, all that stuff. I'm draining all the antifreeze out. Antifreeze is horrible. The petcock, the bottom of the radiator, is plugged, so I'm going to do a good flush on this radiator. Got that washer bottle ripped out. Going to go ahead, charging up the battery. Going to crank the motor over and see if I even get any fuel pumping out of the fuel line. The carburetor. Pulled carburetor off. Blew through the fuel filter. Fuel filter is not plugged. Actually, ooh, look at that. You can see right through it. Huh. Okay. So that's definitely not plugged. But I got the rebuild kit. I'm going to go ahead and pull this apart. When I filled it up with fuel, the accelerator pump, this gasket here was just dripping fuel straight out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and rip it all apart. We'll see what kind of gunk is laying down inside the carburetor. That's probably one of the best two-barrel carbs ever built right there. The Motorcraft two-barrel. So Gonna clean it up. Gonna get rid of. This is the idle kick up for the air conditioning. Truck doesn't have an AC, so we'll get rid of that. Clean it up. We're gonna go ahead. We'll delete the EGR valve. There's no point having that anymore. I'll make a little block off plate for that. Get rid of that vacuum routing. Get some new base plate gaskets. It needs a new PCV valve. This hose here, it's all cracked. Didn't have a very good seal anymore. I'm sure they reproduced this. Looks like the original from 1975. It's as hard as a piece of oak. So we'll get a new one of those. So I'm going to make a little list of a lot of the stuff that it needs, which is cool. It's all just old classic Broncos stuff, which, boom, have a catalog. I'll just sit down and make a list, order a bunch of replacement parts. That'll be easy enough. And I think I'm going to pull these valve covers off. And I'll go have them sandblasted. The heads have obviously been off this motor at some point because they're nice shiny blue. The heads have got fresh paint on them. But the valve covers got a bunch of gunk in there. So we're going to pull the valve covers off, clean them up. We'll get them sandblasted. We'll get them repainted, make them look really nice. I'll clean up the motor best I can, the rest of it anyway. And we'll make this thing look real presentable. Okay. Well, nice surprise. Got the valve covers off. And top of the motor is super clean. These heads have definitely been redone. They are nice and clean. The rocker studs are even double nutted, which is kind of surprising. Can't say the last time I've seen that done. But I guess I would explain when I did have this thing fired up after sitting for so long, it didn't huff a single puff of smoke at all after sitting for so long. So obviously these heads, you can see all the fresh blue paint. Nothing else has been painted, so that's a good sign. I will try to clean up the intake. Maybe I'll try to get that all degreased, cleaned up, see what it looks like. Maybe I can even just like go so far as like brush paint it. I'm going to take the valve covers because they're all grungy and rusty. My buddy Bill's going to take them and clean them up, and then I'm going to just go ahead and we'll just repaint them Ford blue. Surprisingly, whoever did the work, obviously probably a shop, but they don't even bother to like clean the valve covers. They're just like completely packed full of sludge. Like, why would you go through all the work redoing the heads and then bolting on these disgusting valve covers? Just I don't get people sometimes. Anyway, so that's where we are tonight. I removed 3 of them little thermal switches. Put some pipe plugs in there, so that'll clean that up. That'll look nice. I got my list together for some stuff to order. So yeah, we're moving right along. Okay, so I got the valve covers back. My buddy Bill went and he sonic cleaned these. Pretty cool process. Now they're all nice and clean. All the sludge is gone. I'm going to go ahead and wire wheel these down. And I got some POR 15 coming. We'll get these repainted. Straighten out these clips for the plug wires. Get these old decals off, but nice and clean. Still got to get the carburetor done. I got a whole bunch of parts coming. Valve cover gaskets, PCV valve. I got new plug wires, cap rotor, all kinds of stuff coming. Under the hood, been working under here. Started cleaning up the motor, ripped out a bunch of wiring. Started cleaning up all this mess of wiring, crap coming out of the firewall. Cleaning up the intake. It's looking pretty good so far. I'm not hating how it's looking right now, but I think when I get the POR 15, I will kind of touch up the intake. I'm gonna clean up some of the brackets, just whatever I can get to. The fender liners, they had some old like rubber floor mats, like sheet metal screwed to it. It looked like hell. Pulled those out, got rid of all the screws. I think
I think I am going to try to find a factory non-AC heater box for this, and I think I am going to try to get rid of that monstrosity there and make it look more OEM. I just, every time I look at that, it bothers me. So I am going to try to fix that and make it look proper. So, so far, I'm pretty happy. It's looking better every minute, I think. So, pretty happy. Going to get these valve covers cleaned up, get some paint on them tonight so they can dry overnight. You know, the POR 15 takes a long time to dry. So, yeah, I'm not going to do too much more in this video. We'll get that done, and then we'll probably call it quits on this video, and this will just be part one, and then we'll pick it up in the next one. So, yeah, we'll see how much more I get done tonight, and we're looking good. So, also started wiping out some of the ugliness on the inside. Got rid of those just cheap aftermarket gauges, that old CB that didn't work. Got those ripped out of here. Um, they were some old mechanical gauges that were down there, which had that nylon plastic oil line, which was just so old and brittle. Those things are just too dangerous. I'll probably replace the gauges with some new modern electronic ones that'll just be wires that don't leak oil. So we'll do that. But for now, everything's all cleaned up. All that stuff's eliminated. I think it looks 100% better. Like I said, the CB didn't work, so nobody uses CBs anymore. You got handheld radios. You have GMRS stuff. So much better. So let's bring this thing up to the modern era and get rid of this old antiquated, just antique crap that doesn't work anyway. So it's, like I said, we're wiping off the ugly and bringing it up to modern standards. So much better now. Okay, there's the valve covers now after I've wire wheeled them up. Got them all ground down. I got these little clip things straightened out. I'm gonna see if I can bang out some of these dents in them. Those are, actually this one's on the back side. You won't see it, but I still wanna see if I can. There's nothing on the front. This one, this is the front of this one. See if I can at least bang that one out. And then I got my POR 15 corporate Ford blue. We'll get those coated up tonight and let them dry overnight out here in the heat, and we'll see how they turn out. Then to be gone. Cool. Okay, I got the valve covers. They're all cleaned up, wire wheeled down, got the dents removed out of it, got a masked off. I got my POR 15. It says you can spray it. I've never done it before. You can reduce it 4-to-1 with just regular paint thinner. So that's what I got. I got it reduced down. Looks pretty good. And what I'm going to spray it with is just one of these little Pre-Vol little paint sprayers. So I'm going to pour the paint in the jar. You screw the little aerosol thing on it, and just like spray painting. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to do that on the valve covers. I got them set up over here by my furnace, getting warm. And then whatever paint's left over, I'm literally just going to take a brush and I'm just going to do the intake manifold, just to kind of just make it look a little bit nicer, match the valve covers. Hopefully it looks halfway decent. So I'm going to go ahead, pour this in the jar, get the Pre-Vol set up, then I'm going to move us over to the valve covers, see how they turn out. Okay, got my little Pre-Vol sprayer. If you haven't ever seen one of these, check them out. Get them at most hardware stores or Home Depot. Pretty neat. So there's my paint. It's all mixed up. And literally, it's just like spray painting. So see how this, come on now. There it comes. See how this lays out. I guess worst case scenario, if it turns out like crap, break out the brush. We'll just brush it on nice and thick. It does look pretty good. Okay. Got the intake touched up. It's a little brighter than the paint on the heads, but that's all right. That looks much nicer and much cleaner. I think once the valve covers are on, carburetor, get a nice air cleaner on there, that's going to look so much better. This is looking way better under the hood so far. And the valve covers. The pre-vol didn't quite work out. It wasn't covering for crap. I think it was just, I don't know, just too thin. So I ended up brushing it on. It's kind of flowing out a little bit here, but I think it'll be fine. It's going to look pretty good once it all dries. It's definitely going to be thick and durable, that's for sure. So we're going to let this dry overnight. And I think that'll look really good. We'll get that all bolted up tomorrow. So the motor will be all sealed up. I got some new valve cover gaskets. I did, by the way, hammered all the rails on the valve covers nice and flat again. They were all kind of tweaked and warped. And then the valve covers gaskets I got, Velcros, they got the little metal anti-crush rings in them, so you can't distort everything. That's the part number for the valve cover gaskets. So anyway, we are moving right along. It's got the plug wires. Oh yeah, I did. So I bought the conversion distributor cap so I can run regular plug wires. So this cap has male ends on it instead of that crap over there that always pop off. So this will be nice. So I got some nice blue Ford Motorsport wires. So this will look good on there. Plug wires will stay on. So yeah. So since I got to let all this stuff dry overnight, what do you say we cut this video here? This will be part 1 of Jeff's Bronco. And we'll pick up everything else in the next video with the carb rebuild, getting the motor all sealed back up. And yeah, we'll get it all fired up. We'll find this transmission leak, which is what started all of this. And we'll get some gauges in it. We'll get the plug wires on. We'll address some more of this wiring, get it cleaned up under here. And we'll just keep plucking along until this thing is running and driving. And yeah, we'll go from there. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you like this project. If you do, give me a comment down below that you like it. Give it a like, give it a follow, give it a subscribe, all those things. And hey, just remember, if you got a project, get out there. Just do one thing every day. Ain't nothing going to get done on its own. Just do one thing every day. So anyway, we'll catch you on the next one. Later. Bye.